the eyes of your understanding needs to be flooded with light. I mean, just think about how shocking it was for me hearing someone say that the Old Testament had a lot to do with Jesus. I was like, what? When I began to study this long ago, I'm talking about 2006, the first time I read about it, I didn't understand anything. Because no one I'd never heard any Nigerian preacher talk about this. Nobody. You know, I'm studying this. And beginning at Moses, meaning the books written by Moses, the first 5 books, and all the prophets, he explained to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. What were the things he showed? Let me tell you something. You have to understand that there were 2 different types of prophecies about Christ in the Old Testament. There were verbal prophecies. Prophecies like messianic psalms, that it was clear this was talking about the Messiah. All right? Behold, the Lord himself will show you a sign. A virgin shall conceive and give birth to a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. That's a verbal prophecy, very clear. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Verbal prophecy. But you have to understand that there are a lot of types and shadows, all right? There is another type of prophecy called dramatized prophecy. That when Moses was told by God to institute a mode of atonement where you bring a lamb, that was all a metaphor about Christ. Are you getting what I'm saying? That, listen, even the temple system was a metaphor of the salvation, that Christ was going to come and wrought. So the lambs were slaughtered outside to typify the fact that Christ will die in public. But then the blood of the lamb was now taken into the temple. I'm going to talk about this. Don't forget this. Taken into the temple. Nobody sees that. So even when Jesus died, the work was not done. Are you listening to me? He ascended to present himself to God. That's why he told Mary, don't touch me. Are you getting what I'm saying? So he ascended. The blood was a metaphor of his life. Into the most holy place, into the through the inner court, into the most holy place. That is where the work was to be done. Are you getting this? It was all a metaphor about Christ. That's why Jesus said, as Moses lifted up the brazen serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted. Meaning, when Moses did what he did, he was dramatizing what Christ was going to do. That's prophecy. And one interesting aspect of prophecy is that there were some people whose very lives, God used to tell the story about salvation. And one of them is Joseph. There are a couple of them. For instance, do you know that Joshua and Jesus are the same name? Same name. Same meaning. Same name. And so, Joshua was a type of Christ to let you know that Christ is going to lead us into the promised land. You get it now? Yes. We're going to get into that if we have the time, but we don't. So let's just look at Joseph and then we call it a day. The beautiful thing about Deeper is we have a whole weekend. Amen. Please don't miss the teaching tomorrow. I'm good, don't worry. It's just water. If people have your way, you won't allow me to do anything.